we are in the actual Marvel hallways.
We're in the Disney corridors.
It's an unusual place. You know what's funny? We have a history. I interviewed you years ago in London, and now we're here in. You've made a little bit of a career jump since back then.
Yeah.
Just a touch. All right, let me get into why I get to talk to you today. When you first were given the script, when you were first invited to participate in Avengers, did they tell you immediately, by the way, Quicksilver might not survive?
No, yeah, well, actually, before there was a script, it was just a meeting with me and Joss. And, it's alright. So we're just doing ours in the corridor.
It's all good. It's all good.
You have a room, it's okay. Yeah, no, it was I sat down with Joss, and he, this was a year before I even signed. It was before Godzilla, so it was really, really early on when we had this discussion, all top secret stuff, and his whole intention right from the beginning was to take this character to where it's gone to, you know. That was his whole arc, and wanted him to at some point sacrifice himself for someone or for, you know, something. So that was kind of cool, and I was interested in that. And but yeah, I mean, apart from that, there was, and then we delved into characters and this and that. But that was his intention from the very beginning. So it wasn't like I read the script and went, "Oh man, like really, should we discuss this some more?" But you know, whilst we were filming, it felt like it maybe came up as like, well, we need to shoot an alternative. But then I think maybe we shot an alternative just purely for the fact that they were trying to keep it so top secret that the crew wouldn't, you know, when they do that final reveal of like who's the Avengers, it was like I was there on that day also in a new costume and things that got done, which looked so amazing. I was like, guys, you have to keep me alive. I mean, look how awesome this suit is. So and then obviously that kind of then sparked a little thing in my mind. Was like, wow, maybe I would be brought back. Like, I don't know.
Well, I want to actually ask you that, because here's the real question. Did you sign a one-picture deal, or did you sign a multiple-picture deal? Because that's really everything right there.
That kind of really does sort of, that would make it official, right? That I can't, maybe I just still can't discuss that.
Yeah, because that's the real thing.
He can't tell you that.
Okay, sure. Because my own opinion, and by the way, this is, you know, no character in the Marvel Universe in comic books really die. Like on Arrow recently, they killed Arrow, he came back. Like 2 episodes later.
Well, they need to figure out what that serum is, because working with these guys was like a dream, man. It was amazing, and one of the best shoots I've done, and it really is like a family environment, and those are the best kinds, you know. You have so much fun, and playing this character was it was just so cool. So
I am very curious. Joss loves to write, he loves to improvise, he loves to write new scenes at night when he's back. Yeah. So what was it like on set working for someone, because he's a genius, and I don't use that term lightly. Yeah. What was it like working with him, and how often was he handing you new pages and saying, "Oh, we're going to do this today"?
Pretty much, yeah, pretty often. I mean, the scripts would change different colors. You know, you would have the next draft, and for people who don't know what happens is they have to print in a new color. So we have like, you know, and they have names. Oh, this will be the mustard color or something, and then it would be like salmon, and then it would be like blueberry, and then I'd have a script that would, if you flick through, it was just like rainbow colored, because it would change so often. And I couldn't even keep up with reading new drafts and stuff like that at one point, you know. And you'd just get into the rhythm of it so much that you'd get the new sides that day, that morning. I go, right, okay, cool, I'll run with it, I'll go with it, sure. You know, and you put your trust in Joss and the guys at Marvel, and it just, you know, you get over that obstacle quite early on, because you know that they've got your back. You know, these guys really care about their characters, and you'll be in good hands.
Joss told me his...
And I don't use genius lightly either, and I think he is a genius.
I fully agree.
And I don't think he slept either. So when he was going back at home at night, he was writing and barely napping, probably. And
I think he's still paying for it. I saw him yesterday during the interview, and he seemed like I cannot wait to finally have a month to not answer any questions.
Yeah, which, that's... yeah, it's a huge, mighty task and challenge to take on the Avengers, and to do what he's done is incredible.
And to do it twice.
To do it twice, and to really keep everyone in, everyone has their moment, and their no one looks inadequate to one another in superhero form, or he does the unthinkable and takes the challenge on. I don't think he's incredible. He's a genius.
He told me yesterday that his first cut was 3 hours 15 minutes.
Wow.
The actual cut, what's being released, is 2:20 something.
Right.
I think. Obviously, that's an assembly, but
right.
He did say there was a significant amount of deleted scenes.
Right.
Do you remember any scenes you shot that were deleted? Have you seen the movie?
Most scenes are kind of snappier and quicker anyway. So like there might have been a page worth of dialogue that might have been before, or something that just got taken real quick off. But major stuff. I know some of the fight sequences that we did. There was this great moment. I don't know if I can talk about it, but I'm sure it's fine. But there was this great moment where, and this is just what happens just generally when you do stunts, it's like you never really know how it's going to go. But Thor has this moment where he, I don't even know if he threw an Ultron or something at like a tanker and it blows up. That's still in it, right? You'll see a moment where there's like an explosion. But when Thor was, like the stunt guy was in it, and he did that thing where he threw the Ultron, and this big explosion was so huge that they were like, yeah, he would be on fire. Like it was so like, and then like it was like flamethrower kind of thing. And it was like, okay, so now if we think Thor's on fire, we should have Quicksilver like run around him super fast, and then like put him out, and then, which was really kind of cool. And his whole cape was on fire, and I ran around him, and then like put out the fire, and then like we had like a little little banter,
sure.
Little nit jib, kind of thing at each other, which was kind of fun and cool. And I don't think I have a moment with Thor. I have a lot of stuff with Ranner and Cap, and so you find those little moments and gems, and then, but that was kind of it. Like you explore with a whole bunch of stuff, and fight sequences you do, I think from their point of view, you shoot as much as possible, and you piece this major Rubik's Cube together, and I think that's probably with the whole thing. There were times actually where we'd be filming, and then they go, right, okay, actually we need you and Lizzie have now turned up to Tony Stark's place, and Cap's brought you. And we're like, okay, how did we get there? And like, we're gonna figure that out in a week. We're gonna write that, and believe me, it's fine. He's gonna, I think, probably around Koreatown and the thing, and he's gonna get you there. And we're like, okay, you know what I mean? It was just so kind of, they kind of just flowed like that. I mean, which is, I don't know how they do it. It's crazy. Yeah,
they're also a machine. I mean, they know what they're doing.
It just keeps rolling, and but they've got their finger on the pulse, and they know it. They really know what they're doing.
Definitely curious. I want to jump into a different film. Are you coming back for the Godzilla sequel? Do you know?
No, again, I think the thing is, Legendary, another fantastic studio that and what I think is great about Thomas Tull and John Jashney is they really care about their creative directors. What we were like Pacific Rim, I think they took time, and they worked with until their director's back, and they might have gone off, and our Gareth has gone off to do a Star Wars. So until he's kind of back, I think that's when they'll figure something out, and I think they respect those people. I mean, he really pushed Godzilla to where it was. I mean, it was a lot of involvement from him. So I think they embraced that, and I don't think they rushed that. I think
100%. Obviously, what are you thinking about doing next after Avengers and after Godzilla? And that's my last question. But what are you thinking about for upcoming projects that you want to take on?
I'm constantly trying to Not constantly. I mean, it's really hard to find that specific thing. I'm very very picky about what it is that's gonna, you know, take up my time and my thought process and stuff. I think, you know, it's got to be something that just jumps out that I want to play. I mean, you know, here's the thing. The truth is, you know, sometimes I'd get that one gem and I'd try and follow up with it. And there's, you know, the best things are worth fighting for, and there's a process with all these things. You know, the beauty in Avengers and Godzilla was I was flattered enough to be asked to be a part of it, and was, you know, thought of for the role. And some things, you know, you have to cast for, you know.
No, totally.
And if it's usually the ones that I go, I feel something for this character, then most likely it's something that I gotta go and fight for, meet a director or put myself on tape or a screen test or something. And that's just the way things are, and I prefer them that way. I mean, that's a part of it, I think. You know, the chase, I suppose.
I totally get it.
Hopefully, I'll find something that can explore something different. You know, I like to be versatile and try and explore different characters that I haven't done before. So let's hope so.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it, dude.